Okay, off I go. Hello and welcome to the Made Creative Podcast, your monthly podcast of creativeness. My name is Sam and with me today is Connor.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And our awesome sound guy, Joel.
Hello.
And so we are going to be talking about the recording process we're just kind of finishing up with and talk to Joel a little bit. So Joel, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Joel and I run sound for the services at Riverton Baptist, and I also have been recording this awesome group of musicians, Made Creative.
Cool. Ooh, we'll take that compliment. That's pretty good.
I'll take awesome, spectacular, amazing, any adjectives along those lines.
Yeah.
So you also do stuff with TAFE. So what are you doing in terms of TAFE as
so
well?
I'm doing a sound production course at TAFE at the moment, and part of that was I needed to do an assessment where I recorded an external band, and I heard that you guys wanted to record an album, and I said, well, you could do it at TAFE for free.
Yeah. I mean, like, we got awesome facilities.
Yeah.
I think, and I think you mentioned that basically when we were recording our last podcast. I think I almost cried.
Yeah. I mean, from memory, when Joel was saying, oh, you know, you would have offered it earlier, but you didn't really want to get in the way. I think, and we were all like, get in the way, Joel.
Yeah, I basically yelled at him, get in my way, please, always. So how'd you kind of get involved with us?
What's the story?
Tell us the story.
I don't even know how it happened, really. Like, it was one night, one of the night services, Connor came up to me and asked, like, where Kelvin's moving away and we need someone to help with sound for Made Creative. Would you like to help out? And I said, sure.
More specifically, I said we need someone better to do sound.
It's funny because on our last podcast, he's put a comment, ouch. I love how we bag him out at the start of every podcast.
Yeah.
He's not even in the same state as us anymore.
I know.
That's how we show love.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so you started getting involved with Fill This Place and that content, didn't you? And melody stuff as well.
Yeah, so the first song I did with you was Melodies, Artist Spotlight. And that was a lot of fun to do, and I kind of got myself an idea of how you like to run things as well.
Talk about how it's like maybe different recording us, say, than church or something. Like what makes us special.
Yeah, what makes us so unique and cool and awesome and great and stuff.
and annoying.
Well, at church, we usually don't do much recording. Just all the live stuff, and if we need to record something, usually we just we just copy whatever is coming out of the mixer and put it into a recorder. Whereas with this, I'm multi-tracking all your songs, so I'm like recording your vocal mic and the guitar and all that sort of stuff separately on separate channels, and I can then go back and mix it in post. And also the other thing that like is a bit of a unique thing with you is because you film your videos. I can't, put a giant mic up in front of your face and big pop filter, and
so it's almost adds like a little bit of strategy to sound.
Yeah. You're not only focused on the sound, you've also got to consider how it looks as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's true. That's really true.
Yeah, that is a pretty unique challenge, seeing as most times I go, Joel, I can't see his face.
Oh, okay. I'll move that.
Like, I don't want to see it, but I need to see it.
Come on.
Sorry, come on.
I don't want to see. The need is greater than the want.
Yeah, always. So that's some of the challenges. How are you finding recording with us? Like, what's some of the fun things about it?
I love a lot of the songs you do. They're a lot of fun to record, and Connor's
that's good.
That is good.
Connor's good fun to record with as well. Like he's sings nice and loud, which is helpful.
Yeah,
because
I sing loud.
Don't need to turn the microphone up, and you turn the microphone up, then you're also turning the background noise up.
Very loud. That's one of my sort of traits. Is a couple of people used to joke about it. I mean, I still occasionally do get them. He's like, we don't need to give Connor a mic. He can just sing really loud.
Well, I do remember, like, one night when I was at a night service with you guys and you were singing, I think it was either you or one of the sound guys was chatting to me afterwards, and you were still singing. And they were like, "Oh, we turned his mic off," and you could hear it clearly as if there was a mic on.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you don't actually just do the recording the audio; you also edit the audio,
Yes.
as well. So what's that like? How do you find editing stuff?
There's always one challenge that I have with Connor and editing his audio. He's always going into his microphone, and it's
I got a really bad
loud,
habit
and
of
it's-
going the. You
and
can
it's
probably hear that.
loud and it's annoying. It's hard to get rid of.
Yeah. But aside from that, pretty well behaved.
Aside from that, yeah.
I got decent mic technique.
Yep.
Oh yes.
I mean, that's good.
good.
I think you did a fun thing for me where with the tennis ball and the message,
Yes.
I bounced it, but the mics didn't pick it up well enough. So you put in a tennis ball sound there.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't
I did
notice that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't even think of
you'll
that.
hear
That's
the
so
ball
good.
bounce, but it's actually just the sound that he put in
That's
while he was
so
editing
good.
the audio.
Got a recorder and plugged the mic into it, and then bounced a tennis ball in my kitchen.
Literally
Yeah.
everyone viewing right now is going back to their video to check it out.
Yeah. And then I think also I don't know, you did it very subtly, didn't you? Where you put a noise with the lights shutting down as
Yeah,
well.
I did
so
that.
that's really hard to tell. It's in there. I was
I
listening.
didn't notice that
Yeah.
either. Wow.
But
If you go back and you listen for it, you might hear it now. But
yeah, that's super cool. I'm like, that's great. Makes the
that's
video
good.
so much
Yeah.
better. Cool. So at TAFE, you are studying to be a sound engineer, essentially, aren't you?
yes,
Yeah. So why did you want to do that? What's the passion behind doing that?
it really started because my older brother was helping out with sound and tech at church when we were going as a family, and a couple of years back, I then wanted to just do it as well, and came to River early Sunday morning and met up with Colin Black, and
Colin Black's amazing guy.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely brilliant. Probably one of the best sound guys I think I've ever met in my life. And he's just so into it. He's just he has just a shed of sound gear. Most of the stuff we are using right now is Coles. And our entire church is basically gear is Coles. So
Yeah. Met up with him. He showed me how to use the console here, how to make things sound better, how the whole building is put together in terms of the where the cables go and all that. And then one day he goes, right, I'm off. You can mix this service. And I'm like, what? What?
threw you in the deep end.
Threw me in the deep end.
There's always that moment.
Yeah. There's always that moment because I think for a lot of people, people have that they think they're not ready to take the next step. I think even as Made Creative, when we're doing YouTube, we were kind of before we started, we didn't really feel like we were ready, but one day we let's just do it. Let's just dive in and just do it. And then I think it was for the better. And I think we just learned so much. It was very much, quick learning and figuring everything out quickly. I think if you watched our first videos until now, especially since Joel's come on, it's just massive upgrade to our stuff.
Massive upgrade from Kelvin.
Oh yeah, massive upgrade from Kelvin. That's for sure. Yeah,
You did a
huge.
great job.
Yeah. Kelvin was good. Kelvin was good.
Yeah. So you got chucked in to mixing for the first time.
Yeah.
And then from there, how did you go, I want to make this more of a career thing, or I want to learn more
I
about
just
it?
really enjoyed doing it. When I was doing sound, I was just really happy and it just made me happy, made me excited for music as well. And it was also kind of fun knowing the behind the scenes aspect of a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
And one day I was sitting down and discussing what do I want to do when I leave school, and I had a thought I could do sound. I thought I was gonna go into robotics or something, but then there was this moment where I was like, hang on, I'm really happy doing sound at church. I could do that. And so started talking to the people at my school theatre, and one of the managers there recommended that the TAFE in Leederville has the best sound course in his opinion. And from what I've experienced, it's pretty true. Like,
Wow.
I did look at Whopper as well, and also SAE, but there are reasons why I didn't go there. Whopper, one of them being that I didn't actually get in. Pretty hard to go to Whopper when you don't get in, but
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of look back at that and think that maybe God was looking over me there, and
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
like, Joel, you don't go to Whopper, go to TAFE, kind of thing.
Yeah, cool.
Because I've heard Whopper doesn't have the greatest sound course, but
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So how do you use doing sound, mixing, editing, all that sort of stuff as worship? And how do you see God playing into that sort of space?
Well, it's really just the act of service for me. Like, when you're doing sound, you're not really doing it for yourself. You're doing it to serve the musicians, to serve the people in the congregation,
Yeah.
and now also the people, the admin that like post the recordings, like getting a good recording
Yeah.
so that they can post it and people can listen back to that. Then, like, yeah, it's like really helps just the church kind of reach further.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're dead right. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you like, you know, if you think of, like, if I think about it, like, if there's no sound guy, there was no sound gear, it'd be me and like limited musicians, because you can't have that big band. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's pretty hard to have drums in a band if there's no, like, if you can't mic it up. Like, how do you hear the singers over the drum kit?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen unless you're like
Yeah.
super soft on the kit. But you're right. Like, it actually, like, it gives the opportunity to have more people worshiping God and leading the congregation, and you're pushing that, because without you, it wouldn't happen. You'd have a really small group of people, like maybe a piano and a singer,
Yeah.
or a guitar and a singer. Like, that's all you really can afford before
Yeah.
it gets too complicated, and it gives the church massive opportunities to play these. You know, like we've had how many? What's the biggest sort of stage you've set up?
In terms of
Not
like,
necessarily just church, just like
yeah,
anywhere,
external groups. I had one that we had like 15 vocalists,
yeah, there you go. Like,
and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and then like we had a full band as well, so drums, electric, acoustic, like as well, and also like after we set up as well, we had the other groups from this, like other people from this group come in, and they'd like someone. Like, we set up the stage, and as we're packing up, we noticed, hang on, that guy wasn't there when we set up, and he's sitting there playing an electric guitar just on the side of the stage. I'm like, what? And it's just like this, like, I thought the stage was big, but then more people came on, and it's like, it was a full-on setup, and it was a lot of fun as well.
see,
to
like,
do.
you just couldn't be able to do that with, like, people would
Yeah.
not be able to do that without sound. And I think it's easy because the sound guys are usually seated behind you.
Yeah.
To not think about that, you know, to see the musicians on stage, but they are
Backbone.
they're the backbone of it, because none of it works without it, right? And that's essentially what the backbone's responsibility is, right? Because the body doesn't work without a backbone.
Nope. Yeah.
So, from a musician point of view, I've always respected sound guys. I definitely know musos that don't share those feelings, because I think to them they're so used to it. They like sort of take it for granted, like a good sound guy that can just respond to you and just like fix your problems like straight away.
Well, I think the other thing as well is there's also like not every sound guy is good as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some sound people like, you know, they're still learning, or they're just like they don't have the mindset to focus on like, this is the task I'm doing.
Yeah.
You do lighting as well, don't you? A little bit.
Yeah, a bit more of a hobby kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I do it just because it kind of would be a useful skill
Yeah.
in the future. I also enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Because whenever I see you at church, usually it's your brother doing it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jared.
Just a question. What's the difference between, say, live mixing a service and the sound you're going for a live mixing in a service, and mixing and editing post for, say, videos and like albums and stuff? What's the difference there? Like, what are the skills you're using What are you looking out for?
With sound, live sound, you only got one chance to get it right. And if you don't get it right, it's very easy to kind of get distracted by that mistake. And then when you're distracted, you then make more mistakes, and it kind of waterfalls and like builds up like that.
Sounds like a musician with an instrument.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
right. Yeah, it does. Because for me, it's like if I make a mistake, I'll go, no, and then because I'm thinking, oh no, I make another mistake, which is funny. You just go, yeah.
So yeah, I guess with live sound, you kind of need to keep your composure a bit more, and also, like, if once you started a set or something, it's very hard to get up there and adjust something. Like if something's not quite mic'd up correctly, you then got to think, okay, how can I fix this issue from here?
Yep.
Like,
wow.
Is there a mic nearby that I can use to, pick up a bit of that spill?
Yep.
And I've definitely had to fix issues like that.
There's a bit of creativity and problem solving and that sort of
problem
stuff.
solving and it's not just like people like think problem solving around sound. Oh, which cable's not working? Oh, the mic's not working. We'll just switch it out. What's wrong with the mic? Fix it later. But like you got problem solving in the moment as well. Like things fail and you need to work out how can I get by without it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's different about recording a video, for example?
Well, with like recording audio, if something goes wrong, you can get into that tracking room and you can replace something. You can, your mic position's not quite right. You can get in and fix it. You got a lot more chances, but then also recording is a lot more sensitive. You can hear issues a lot easier.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that I think people are also realizing now that, with COVID and all that, like people are like live streaming, recording services and that a lot more. And like a recorded service, like if your live mix is good, your broadcast or your broadcast or your recorded mix will sound pretty terrible.
Yeah. And like if you make a mistake, you like pick it up like that on this live stream.
And it's like when I'm editing music, I'll finish it, I'll export it. Like at this point, I don't even bother labeling my mixes as like a final version. I'll just go, version 1. Yeah. And I'll listen back to it and I'll listen back and I'm like, oh, that snare's like half a decibel too loud there.
Yeah.
And I'll go back and I'll edit that.
Yeah.
And I can do that like 5-10 times more. And like it's just a lot more sensitive recording. You hear the mistakes more, and if something's not quite right, you hear it.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's your favorite Made Creative song? Maybe to record so far, and then just favorite one that you've heard so far. They can be the same thing as well.
Yeah.
My favorite one, probably, the favorite to record was probably Fill This Place because
Yes. I like this place too.
like we did it in the auditorium there, and I had just a bunch of mics on the room just to pick up that the reverb, the natural reverb.
Yeah, we had lots of mics set up, just around the room.
Yeah, that was.
It's just cool as. Yeah, it was just something like I've never really experienced that kind of recording before. So, yeah.
All in all, I think there were 6 microphones around there, and that's just like vocals and acoustic.
Mics,
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one as well that I really enjoyed, but that's just because I think we got a really high quality recording of it, was Staring Back.
Yeah. Staring Back is a really good one. I think Sam and I, when after writing that, we were so excited. We actually went to a friend's place and then showed everyone the song we just wrote. Yeah. We were pretty proud of that one. So
it was the first song we wrote together.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's also the first song we wrote together then.
So there you go. Yeah. And it was very nerve-wracking when we showed it to people. I didn't know how to deal with it.
It was nerve-wracking for Sam because it was just for me. Like I've been writing since I was a kid, so I know the feeling. When I was a kid, I definitely had that feeling of like showing someone a song you'd played, like you'd written, and just like nerve-wracking as anything.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So let's talk about the album recording a little bit, hey,
Sure.
and how that went and how we're all feeling, because we're kind of towards the end of the first batch of recordings. We don't have heaps to go now, but how are we all feeling? How's it been? You know, what's been going on with it? That's for all of us.
Yeah.
sure.
I'm looking at some of the takes we have, and I'm going, "Oh, that's going to be fun to edit." Like,
Definitely had some. Yeah, it's definitely had some of those experiences. I think overall, I like it's. I love it. Recording's so much fun. Just being there, hanging out, and like, and just like, oh, I love it. It's tiring for sure. But man, I love it. It's like addicting. Just keep doing that. Pretty fortunate to be able to like do it in such nice facilities as well, and not like in some hot box shed at the back of some guy's house.
Yep.
So I'm really lucky to be doing that. But yeah, fun overall. I think I think like for a lot of the band members, it's been their first time recording in a studio, and like it's just like shaking off those nerves, sort of like that you're like, you're kind of like what you're playing right now. It has to sort of be exactly. There can't be any really mistakes. You got lots of shots to do it, but the longer you take, the harder it is, because you like sort of lose faith in yourself a little bit every single take you do.
yeah.
And I think, I mean, this is only like new. Once you realize that sometimes it just takes a long time to get it right.
Yeah.
Then, but when you do a take and you like do something really good, I'm not sure if it's in any of the vlogs, but quite often if we've got a part that's taking a little while to get quite right, and we end up celebrating because we're just like, yes, that's it, yes,
Yeah.
and we'll just be like, and it's like everyone just sort of erupts in this energy because we like finally got this part that we needed to get. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been really fun. I think for everyone besides you, it's the first recording experience, right?
I think
Basically.
so. Yeah, I mean, Joel's recorded other bands before, I think.
Yeah.
But
so-
I think you're right. It's everyone else's first experience.
So yeah, like it's been really fun. Like we've all kind of gotten to know each other a lot better, and that's been really good. And I think good for everything. It's been hard work. It's been very tiring. Like Joel, me and you've had a lot of nights where we've done recording, finished, gone home, and edited stuff for the channel or to get back for the next day of recording, and stayed up late. And then he's gone to TAFE, and I've been editing just our normal videos during the day. And so like we've done a lot of like staying up really late at night and then waking up and doing it all again. And that can get really tiring and difficult occasionally. But it's a short period of time. But it's been pretty fun for the most part. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been really good.
There's a lot of learning things. Like we've learned a lot from
massively.
about what we need to do to make it a quicker and better process next time, and some of the preparation that we needed to have that we didn't, and some of the things that we need to like work on and all that sort of stuff. It kind of comes in like we did scratch tracks and drum tracks at the start, and we didn't properly listen over them, and so we had to redo a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And, just stuff like that. There were kind of like big mistakes that you learn as you go more than anything else.
I think the biggest lesson we probably learned was when you're doing recording, listening is more important than recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think at the start we were like, we don't have much time, so we got to record, and then like we realized that was a terrible mistake, because then we just didn't get anything that we could use, and then we just wasted all that time. So then we just like, all right, we stop, we slow down, we listen to that take, see what it sounds like. If there's a problem in it, we'll address it, and we'll redo it.
And I found it a lot easier after the first 2 days, when I knew that I didn't have to play bass for a while. It just it took the stress away, and I could just sit there and just direct people and like direct them where they're going, and then also be listening and just be fully present in that, as opposed to I'm going to also play bass tonight. That sort of thing.
Sure.
So that was really interesting. Like I found it really fascinating working this is not what anyone else would be, but I'm not a musician first. I'm like a pastor first.
Sure.
So what I find more fascinating is the sitting with someone and walking them through the song and working out what they need
Yeah,
to
that's
feel
right.
encouraged. That for me is way more interesting.
Sure.
So like, you know, the difference between encouraging Luke and getting the best out of him and the best out of Kirsten and the best out of Ruben,
Yeah.
you know, has been really interesting to see what they all need that's different.
Mm.
I found that really interesting. How you found the process? Have you learnt some things?
I've
or, like-
definitely learnt things. Biggest thing I've learnt really is that every band is different, and it was kind of more I was just reminded of that, and that in the beginning, in the first couple of days of recording, I was kind of going like, oh, this is how we record my TAFE band, so it should work with you guys. And I was like, after the second night, I just was reminded that no, every band is different. Not every method works with everyone.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah.
Maybe doing this in this order gives the best kind of take and might sound logical, but it might not be what is easiest for the band.
Yeah.
And I just was reminded that the band comes first.
Yeah.
In this.
I think after the first couple of days we found our footing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Definitely after the second day. Second
Yeah.
day was tough.
Yeah.
Second day was rough.
Second day was rough because, you know, it was like we're trying to like flesh out all the little parts and whatever, and we're trying to like really think. And I think at that stage we realized that was the day we realized we needed to listen to the takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Especially because we listened back and heard a lot of mistakes in the drum tracks that we
Yeah.
then had to go back and re-record, and it was frustrating because
Yeah.
we thought we didn't need to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
And it put us. We felt like it put us behind.
Yeah, and
So that
I
was
think for
tough.
everyone they realize it's like that's just kind of what recording
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
it's people make mistakes and then you have to do it again, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like asking people to listen. Like I remember you had to go early one night.
Yeah.
And Ruben had just been like on his phone and not really listening much.
Yeah.
And then both me and Kirsten said, "Can you please listen? Like you have better timing than both of us." And the minute he listened, he was super helpful.
Yeah.
Like amazingly helpful.
Yeah.
Like I
Ruben,
wish
yeah.
Brutally
the whole-
helpful.
brutally helpful. Like
Brutally
really
helpful, yeah.
Really, really good. And it was like, oh, you've actually got to, you know, ask people into that space as well and get
Yeah.
them to
Because I think
participate.
I guess some people just think sometimes, and this obviously applies to more than just recording, but
Yeah.
like people think if someone's got something under control, then they just won't offer help.
Yeah.
If like, oh no, they've got that under control, when really they could use an extra pair of hands.
Yeah.
So I
More
think
often than not, yeah.
maybe that's a challenge to anyone out there. If anyone feels that they think that someone's got everything under control, maybe just ask them, do you have everything under control? Do you want a hand?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, yeah, it's been fun. It's been really challenging. I think some of that stuff like is really good that we've gone through that because it, you know, puts us under pressure and we kind of learn how to deal with the frustrating part of, you know, being around each other,
Yeah.
you know, all that sort of stuff. Like that's also important. And so, yeah, no, it's been heaps of fun. We're almost done with the first half of the album. What do you think? We got the second half towards the end of the year, like right towards the end of the year that we're probably going to do. We haven't confirmed the dates fully yet, but what do you think we're going to do differently from the band perspective? And what do you think you're going to do differently from, you know, sound editing, recording perspective for next time from what we've learnt, like positively, you know?
Yeah, I mean, as a band, we're still working on the songs, so we've got to get them all down pat.
Yeah.
Get the parts done. I think doing these ones will be doing this next set. For those that don't know, we recorded 5 of the songs, and then we're going to record another 5 later on, and then we're going to release a 10-song album. So
Wow, I didn't know you wanted to tell people about that. I thought we weren't supposed to tell people how many songs.
what is that a thing? I don't
You
know.
told me not to tell anybody how many songs, because I was going to mention it in the vlogs once.
Oh,
and you're like,
really?
oh, don't do that.
Oh, I think it's only because I didn't want people to be confused that there was going to be because if we say 5 songs and then there's people get confused when there's 10 songs.
Ah, okay.
But I'm just sort of explaining it now.
Yeah.
So we're going to do another 5 later on. We're still writing those, working it out as a full band. All the songs are written, and we've done them all. You'll see them come out as the months go by on the channel. But in terms of what we do differently, I think it'll be interesting because when we started writing the first 5, we just didn't have the full band together yet. So we're going to have everyone there from the start, and I think that's just going to be a massive help. And it just gives everyone a bit more time to figure out what they're going to do, what they're doing. We sort of put a lot of, and Luke's brilliant. Luke is so brilliant. We put so much pressure on him to come up with the drum stuff that he needed to come up with, and he just absolutely nailed it. We're just so happy with all the parts that he's come up with. And it's been really good. So generally sort of what happens when we're at band is we've got bass. So Sam plays bass. We got bass and drums, and they sort of go off together, and they sort of figure out what they're going to do for that part. And then keys, electric, and acoustic. So Kirsten, Ruben, and I will get together, and we'll sort of work on the melody and what that's going to sound like. So.
Yeah, Ruben helps me and Luke out sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. And we sort of we do all get together as well and still talk as a band. So, but I think that'll be the biggest difference. Is it's just everyone's going to be there from the get go to do their own parts, and then while everyone's doing stuff and working with stuff, it's sort of like because you kind of like you work off other instruments, but if you've got the opportunity to work off a blank canvas, then you can kind of like change the direction of where the song's going to go quite easily. I mean, for me, especially the drum beat of the song is just like a massive, massive driver of the song.
Yes.
So it can really influence, the how you strum, where you decide to put stops, where you want to cut back, where you want to build, like that. Just it changes it so much. In the same way of when you want to introduce electric guitar to the mix. In terms of if there was that build and where do we want it to be more like cut back and easy for the keys to sort of like come through and just really play like some like pretty melody, or you want it to be like really peel back and basic and like raw and just have like sort of acoustic, so you can sort of decide what you want to do with that, and I think that gives us an opportunity to really steer it more because everyone is coming in with their individual ideas as opposed to sort of the blocks being slowly built up. So we're sort of like building a bigger foundation, and then so we've got more ideas. So that'd be really good to see.
Yeah, I think like some of the other things that probably are going to be a good thing to put in place from the start is like working out the BPMs from the start of the songs, and just like getting as many.
So every
of us
time we practice, we're
as many of us to practice.
Got a metronome going and getting used to that.
Even separately, when we're practicing separately, just practicing with the click will be super helpful, I think, from the start. And then knowing what instrument for each song is the actual bass of the song.
That's right.
Because when it comes time to record, that that
bass instrument is what you want to record the song off.
Yes, because we wanted to record all the songs, drum tracks when we were doing scratch tracks, but Returning Hope was based off the keys.
Keys. So we realized that we couldn't really record off the drums because the drums don't happen till the very last minute of the song.
Yeah. And we're trying to work out how to make that work and everything. And so coming in knowing what instrument is the bass of the song will be super important. So that was probably a good learning thing. What are some things that you are probably going to try and do differently now that you know us as a band a bit better and have got one go at recording?
Listening to you more. And not being like, oh, this way works better.
Sure. Yeah.
Listening to you, doing it how you want to do. Prioritizing your vision.
True. Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's really good to have those open lines of communication. Obviously, like we need, like everyone needs help along the way. Like I often will ask Joel like what he reckons, and Joel will give me a quick answer as well. So
I was going to say like one of the things I was going to do is listen to Joel more.
Well, Joel has great advice. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's recorded bands already. And the way like Joel does it, because he's like, oh well, when I've done this in the past, like he doesn't like, he's like, oh no, we're doing it this way. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Like Joel will always like treat it as a suggestion to work with. So there's that communication there, which is really good. It means like when working together, there's no like weird tension because someone's sitting back and going, oh well, I would have done it differently. It's sort of like that doesn't exist. So that's really good.
Yeah. Anything else that you would maybe do a bit different or?
This is one that would help with editing, but try to get, like, particularly with the drums, because we did it over multiple days, the mics aren't always in the exact same position. And because we've done the same song over multiple days, each, like, the separate takes might sound slightly differently. So I'd kind of like to try get a song completely done
Okay.
kind of thing per day kind of thing. Like, well, as each instrument gets a song per day, and if you don't get it done, like, some don't matter as much, like keys, like, you know,
bass.
you plug it in, it generally sounds the same. Bass, you plug it in, it sounds the same, but when you're miking things between days, it can sound slightly differently.
That's really interesting.
So you don't, so it's just like, so if you wouldn't do one, like, if you could, like, you could do it with different setups, but you just don't want to move the mics between songs.
Well, no, like, I don't want to move the mics during songs.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
okay.
I meant during songs. Something like that. Yeah,
So,
during
like,
songs.
if, you know, one day we're focusing on, we start with the drums for song A, then we finish song A
Yeah, that's right.
for the drums.
Yeah.
And I know, and I think that also comes down to time management as well a bit. Like,
Yeah, sure.
Like, if we've got like an hour left in a session, and
Best not to start a new song.
do we start a new song?
Yeah.
Do we maybe do bass or something for
Yeah.
that song
Yeah,
we've
okay.
already got down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never have thought of that, but that's really
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I didn't think about the
'Cause,
mics
yeah.
being in different
Yeah.
spots, because to me they always look like they are.
Yeah, in the same spot. Yeah, no,
Hmm.
that's not something I would have thought of. Wow. Okay. Well, that's actually a really interesting one. I hadn't thought about
Yeah.
that. I think time management is like a really important thing for this. You know, if people don't know, we record at night, so we record from like 5:30 to 9:30, and then that's about it.
Yeah. Luke and I both work all day.
Yeah.
So
So
we're basically like working all day. We go recording till 10 because we can't record any later than that because it's at like the facilities.
building
When the building shuts.
Security kicks us out.
yeah.
So then I go home, I sleep, I go to work all day, I do the same thing, and I do that 5 days a week. And then Sam and I are doing recording on
Just the
Saturday and
usual
Sunday,
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
recording. So
With
we're-
Joel.
yeah, with Joel. So it's been really busy here at Make Creative in terms of what we're doing.
Yes.
It's been really, really exhausting.
Yes.
But really fun, really rewarding, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been really fun in terms of the bigger picture of it is like every month that we do content, we try and get better in
Yeah.
some way. You know, Heavenly Love started with one camera and the audio that we had.
Yeah, which
and
is like a
then-
little desk and
Yeah.
with Kelvin, our sound guy.
And we've added cameras and different
Shit, we
shots.
didn't even have Kelvin at that stage, did we?
No, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
And then we added cameras and different shots, little like movie things in
Yeah.
it as well. And now sound is a lot better.
Yeah.
And same with the album recording. Like, you know, we want to do it better the next time.
We got a hopefully I got a friend who does cinematography and hoping he's going to help us out a little bit, show us around the ropes a little
Yeah,
bit, and
yeah.
maybe help us out in
Yeah.
terms of filming. So
So yeah, so we're hoping that the album will come out sort of towards the start of next year.
yeah,
We're hoping
January, February, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
we're hoping to do some sort of event or events where we kind of get to like, as part of like the album releasing and stuff and playing the songs live full band. And we're hoping to put all the music together for everyone and all that sort of stuff. But man, it's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah, it has.
It's been
Yeah,
crazy.
it's been
And
crazy.
I think it's really important to note, it's really important to keep saying all the time that like, everything we've done, God's just like gone right in front of us and just
Opening
like
doors.
opening doors
yeah.
and making life so much easier than it should be. You
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day, like finding Joel, our album recording, all of that
Yeah.
stuff should not have been as easy as it was, and it's
Yeah.
just God
just-
being God and doing awesome things.
Amen. Absolutely. Like it's just been like it's just crazy to think like what we wrote these songs at the end of last year, and like we're recording them now.
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
we're recording all the songs and it's not even like what 8 months. Oh, it's just over 8 months, 9 months.
No, it's about a year.
Oh yeah, it's about a year.
About
yeah,
a
true.
year
Yeah, it's
from
about
when
a year.
we started first writing, which is crazy. And it's like the biggest things we have to worry about is like things like, oh, we might not have 3 cameras for a shot, or
Yeah.
you know,
Or where we're gonna get Uber Eats.
yeah, or time management of like people just being like, what
Yeah.
time can you be there, and that sort of thing. That's the biggest things
Yeah.
we have to worry about, and that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it should not be that easy, and that's definitely all God.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of rolling with it a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit,
right.
just trying to see where it's at. I don't think we could have predicted, a year ago what
No,
this
definitely not. Definitely
would
not. At the
look
time, we were just like, let's write some worship songs, baby.
Yeah.
And like,
Let's have
and we
some
just,
fun.
yeah, and it was like, for me, it was really fun. And it was really challenging to take that step from doing everything by myself to working with a bunch of people. And that's been awesome. And I feel like, I like to think you think the same way. It's been like a really incredible journey so far, and I can't wait to see where it takes us.
Yeah, it's weird. I kind of equate it to like, I don't equate it to the same thing as this, but like I'm very much reminded of the story of Esther in the Bible.
Sure,
Where
yeah.
Esther, God doesn't speak at all, but he's constantly just allowing things to move in the direction that he wants and for things to be easy. And it's just overcoming the fear to actually do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I feel like that's kind of what it's been like. It's just like, asking people, all that sort of stuff, just overcoming the fear because God's kind of like paved the way in front.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about jumping on and what that process has been like and what you've seen, but like from our perspective, you were like a God-given thing.
Yeah,
So-
absolute God-given gift. Like from a Joel's a pretty good guy. I've known him for a very long time, just like it's so much better when the people you have to work with are also really nice people. If people are really nice, genuine-hearted people, they're just like they're there to hang out, they're having fun, they love what they're doing. It just makes it so much easier.
And people that want to like learn and get better. I find like
that's
that
right.
is like
That's striving to
fundamentally
succeed and learn and
Yeah,
you never stop learning. Right?
Yeah, it fundamentally makes things easier and people easier to work with when you're all like, we enjoy what we do, firstly, and secondly, like we want to get better at what we do and we want to learn. And when people want to learn, that's when like the best things come out of
that's
it.
right.
So it's been really good to work with everyone that's like that, not just Joel, but everybody.
Yeah,
is like
everybody,
that.
every single person, everyone that's a part of Make Creative, even those people who've helped us out behind the scenes and stuff like that. They are discovering on in themselves on how they can support us, and that to them that is a way of learning.
Yeah.
So
Joel, any final thoughts on recording or how you feel God's been working in this process before we kind of wrap things up?
I kind of feel like you guys have been a gift to me as well.
Oh, that's
Because
Mamma mia.
it's been a lot of fun recording you, and a lot of fun just hanging out as well.
yeah.
And as Connor said earlier, that it makes it a lot better when the people you're hanging out with are fun, genuine people, and it just makes it a lot of fun. And and thank you for the opportunity. Really, yeah.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
It's got it's the want to be there.
Yes.
I want to be doing this. This is I love this. It's fun.
Yeah.
I seek passion. Yeah, it's tiring, sure, but it's the same reason why people play sports, right? Like they do it because they love it. That people aren't being people don't finish a game of footy and they're like, oh man, I'm tired. I'm all angry.
Yeah.
Maybe if you lose, but that's for a different reason.
Yeah.
People go, they want to do it. In fact, even if they do lose, they still go back because there's that want, there's that passion to do it.
Yeah.
And everyone part of the Make Creative team is passionate.
Yes. It just makes me happy that I can pass off videos to you and you can put the audio and I don't have to do anything for the audio anymore. It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
I'm just happy because of that. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, Joel.
You're welcome.
This has been the 5th podcast, episode
number
5. Number
Wow.
5. Lovely. I'm Sam. This is Connor.
Hey guys,
This is Joel.
Hey.
Thank you for watching and have an awesome week.
see you later, guys.